right now is that coding agent is so good in terms of understanding your entire local computer, your assets, which means everybody will be able to customize ComfyUI to whatever they need to use for their use case and their industry.
The very first one is Midjourney, and second generation is ComfyUI and TechNow, and the third generation is agent-driven, Lavard and Flowa. Do you agree with that?
I don't fully agree with those are like different stages or like which one strictly better than the other. Now with the agentic perspective, there are more people going back to local software, and we truly believe local and open source is a much better way to work with agents. A very strong aspect about Comfy is that it has the local version which interact with your file system, and there are so many things like it's open source, so technically your agent can read the code of the entire software, which I believe majority of the companies, the closed source company, will not be able to do that. And the result, which is also like interesting timing right now, is that coding agent is so good in terms of understanding your entire local computer, your assets, and the software itself, which means everybody will be able to customize ComfyUI to whatever they need to use for their use case and their industry. And you cannot do that to Lavard. You cannot do that to Manus or any other stuff because they don't open source their software. They don't expose the logic. They don't let you modify things for themselves. And that's actually a very powerful thing of Comfy. And then the other part, I think, is why we need local. Basically, we're working with visual creators, content creators. There are so many assets like images and videos and 3D models. All these stuff are stored locally. You also want to integrate this kind of things. They're working across so many other softwares. And I truly believe that the most powerful, efficient way to do it is to kind of have the local OS to connect everybody, the asset and softwares together. And ComfyUI, just like from day one, you can run it in terminal, which means the agent can drive the entire software, any tiny bit of it, just from chat. So today, if you want to use Comfy in Blender or you generate from Comfy and then you kind of have your own file system, it's like happening like just in 1 second. And it's also much faster to do it locally. Whereas if you have a closed source online software, you have to spend all this time waiting for things to transfer, and you also don't have the access to change everything.
Given that I just walked through your official Twitter and your personal Linky, I see that you are building the MCP right now.
Yeah, so I'm currently in charge of the agentic experience building in Comfy, which we do multiple layers of things. One is we do provide all these tools. If user has their own agent, we want them to be able to use Comfy with tools we provide. So yes, we do provide our MCP, which works with both local and cloud. And we also provide like a CLI and the skills and all these knowledge we want the users to utilize, because I kind of described a lot of use case where open source models are better, but also they're more complicated. But nowadays, you don't have to learn it yourself. Actually, the agent is smart enough to recommend the best situation, the setup for your computer, your hardware, and also your use case. This is one, and also we're doing our own in-app agent just to provide an end-to-end experience where you can talk to the AI inside of Comfy. But is it necessary for you to start with a complicated interface? I don't think so. We're also trying very hard to help with the learning curve. Like
from the beginner.
Like how do you get started with like a very simple concept and then you gradually get there. Actually, if you want to be a very good director, you have to start small, and you don't have to be like, overwhelmed or facing like a giant project in the beginning. So that's a part that we actually want to spend more time on. And also with the agentic building, nowadays it's actually, we expect the AI to do a lot of the work in there to answer your questions and to walk you through a lot of the beginner workflows.
What's the final goal of Comfy?
I think our vision is to empower the majority of the media creation, visual creation in the industry, and we want to be the operation system in the industry. We want to be the ultimate infrastructure for that. We want to be the ultimate scalable and controllable software for the professionals.